LeBron's next move could rewrite NBA history, a shocking final chapter where the King may choose a path no one saw coming, potentially teaming up with Bronny James. But behind the dream of a father-son moment lies a massive question. Can LeBron chase legacy, family, and one last championship without risking everything he built?
Is LeBron James. He spoke about his free agency for the first time within the last hour here at Fanatics Fest in New York City. He was on stage with Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton to do a live taping of his podcast, Mind the Game, but he gave his most illuminating answer about where he could go next to a young fan whose name was Eli.
How do you feel about being a free agency, and what do you want to do in your next team, and how do you want to develop it as a better team?
First of all, that was a hell of a question, and some of the media people in here probably should learn from me, young fella. Y'all heard this question, right? So how do I feel about free agency? Obviously, it's a big decision. This is the third time in my career that I've been a free agent. I think 3, yeah. So it's a big decision for not only myself, but for my family as well, and just for the last part of my career and where I want to spend the last few years, or the last year, or the last 2 years of, my NBA career. So wherever I go, Elon, I will make my staple on just. I'm a natural born leader. I'm gonna try to fit into whatever team I'm going into, but also, give them all the tools and give them all the knowledge that I've been able to, grasp over the last 23 years. I know the game. I know the ins and outs about the game of basketball.
And that was about all that was newsworthy for people who are desperate to hear where LeBron is going to go. And by the way, that includes the teams who are trying to get him. They're desperate for that information too. And respectfully, it is not his third free agency, it is his fourth. And it's fast becoming the longer than all of the previous free agencies put together. And there had been some hope that today there was not really an expectation within the league that LeBron would reveal where he was going to go today. But what teams, and when I say teams, I'm not talking about just your average fan here. Because Malika, when I was in Las Vegas this week at Summer League, the teams that are trying to get him are talking to each other. They're talking to me. They're saying, what are you hearing? There's been no information coming from LeBron or Rich Paul about what he's thinking, and not so much about what he's picking, but what is important to him. Whether style of play will be important, whether role, whether he wants to have a certain limitation on his minutes or games. Those are things that the teams would, if they had that information, they could potentially improve their bid, improve their hand. And I expect that to happen after he selects the team.
We've seen all summer he had that long, scraggly gray beard. And I think if it was the final chapter, he may go out with a gray beard. But I think the beard dye, the short beard, leads us to believe that there could be not just a swan song here, but a final chapter that could last a season or 2. That's the first thing. And I took a seat right in front of the stage. To my right is Lakers coach JJ Redick. Did not expect to see JJ there, and I would dispute Brian in terms of there's no news made. LeBron addressed his exit from the Lakers for the first time. He expressed a lot of gratitude. He name-checked Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka. And certainly at times that relationship was strained with both of them, but he is leaving the franchise in a good place, or as best a place as possible.
Pat Riley said, quote, "We landed the plane," in talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo. There is another one to land, Brian. That is what Pat Riley just said. How do you interpret that? Because to me, Charlie over and out, there's only one way.
I believe it's number 6. And I mean the number 6 the Miami Heat, which will be someday retired LeBron James, put alongside number 7 that Giannis Antetokounmpo will be wearing. And the thing that we were really trying to hear from LeBron today, and maybe we'll still hear it from him, is what he is valuing in wanting to play for his next team. There's a lot of guessing, a lot of speculation. But one of the things is what is his fit going to be? How does he want to play? If you look at Cleveland, for example, the team that the Cavs currently have is reminiscent of the Lakers team he's leaving. The Lakers team he left had Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. Well, the Cavs have James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. The Sixers have a number of ball handlers. The ball handling role is wide open in Miami. The history is there in Miami. The star power is there in Miami. I'm going to be honest with you, Malika. 2-3 weeks ago when LeBron announced he was leaving the Lakers, I know that Miami was ranked up there, but I didn't really see it. As I've watched this and had conversations over the last few weeks, Miami continues to make more and more sense to me. I can't guess where LeBron's head is. I can't guess where where he feels the best fit or what he's prioritizing. But the more you talk about this with NBA teams, even the teams that are recruiting LeBron, the team they see that is the basketball fit is Miami. And you've got Giannis who badly wants him there. And I suspect in the very near future here, in the next few minutes, we'll hear Giannis say something along those lines. The Heat are a very compelling option for LeBron James.
The family portion is a big thing too. You know, my daughter and my wife and things of that nature, and I'm a big family guy. So there's a lot of things that's, people are like, hurry up and make a goddamn decision, Bron. It's like, okay, it's not just about the team. So many other factors that I'm, factoring in right now on what, not only best fit me as a player, what best fit me as a person, what best fit me as what my happiness, and also with my family as well. So there's a lot of, won't hold you guys up too much longer.
LeBron James has reached the moment every superstar eventually fears. The moment where legacy, family, and basketball collide. For more than 2 decades, LeBron controlled every chapter of his career. Cleveland, Miami, Los Angeles. But now, for the first time in years, the next move of the King is completely uncertain. And this time, it is not just about basketball. It is about the final image the world will remember. Will LeBron chase one more championship? Will he choose a team that gives him the best basketball opportunity? Or will he follow the dream that millions of fans have been waiting for, sharing the NBA stage with his son, Bronny James? Because behind the headlines and rumors is a much bigger question. Quote, what exactly makes a guard play great defense? Can LeBron protect his legacy while chasing one last unbelievable chapter? At Fanatics Fest in New York City, LeBron finally addressed his free agency publicly for the first time. But instead of giving the NBA what it desperately wanted, instead of announcing his next destination, LeBron delivered something much more complicated. A message that created even more questions, and those questions became even louder when LeBron revealed just how much this decision truly means. Because for the first time, the King admitted this choice is not only about basketball. A young fan named Eli asked the question every NBA executive, every reporter, and every basketball fan wanted answered. How do you feel about being in free agency? What do you want to do with your next team? And how do you want to develop it into a better team? And LeBron immediately recognized the importance of the moment. He praised the young fan, saying some media members should learn from that question. Then the 40-year-old superstar gave one of the most revealing answers of his career. LeBron said, "It's a big decision, not only for myself, but for my family as well, and just for the last part of my career." Those words changed the entire conversation. Because this is not just another free agency. This is potentially the final basketball decision of one of the greatest players ever. LeBron explained that he is thinking about where he wants to spend the last few years, the last year, or the last 2 years of his NBA career. And then he delivered the statement that reminded everyone why teams are still desperate for him. LeBron said wherever he goes, "I will make my mark." He believes he can enter any organization and provide leadership, experience, and knowledge collected from 23 years in the NBA. But here is the problem for every team chasing him. Nobody knows what LeBron actually wants. Not his role. Not his minutes. Not the style of basketball. Not the championship expectations. And that uncertainty has NBA teams searching everywhere for answers. Because when the greatest player of this generation becomes available, the entire league starts asking one question. Where does LeBron James truly belong? Among all possible destinations, one team continues to create more and more conversation. The Miami Heat. At first, Miami was considered just another possibility. But as the weeks passed, the idea became harder to ignore.
Why? Because Miami offers something rare.
A basketball identity, a winning culture, a history with LeBron,
And potentially a superstar teammate.
The Heat recently made a major move to position themselves around Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the possibility of LeBron joining a team with Giannis has created a dream scenario for NBA fans.
Imagine the pressure. Imagine the headlines. A 40-year-old LeBron James,
A prime Giannis Antetokounmpo, two generational forces trying to create one final championship run.
and there is another factor.
Miami understands LeBron. This is where he transformed from a superstar into a champion. This is where he won 2 championships. This is where he learned what it takes to survive the highest level of pressure. But the biggest question remains, what will Minshew do all year long? Would LeBron want to return to the place where his championship legacy exploded? Or would he choose a completely different ending? Because LeBron's decision is not only about the perfect basketball system. It is about the perfect life situation. And that is where the Bronny James factor becomes impossible to ignore. For years, LeBron has talked about one dream: playing alongside his son. Now, that dream is no longer fantasy. It is reality. Bronny James is in the NBA. And suddenly, LeBron's final chapter has a storyline no superstar has ever had before. A father and son sharing the same NBA court. But this creates the biggest dilemma of LeBron's career. Because the greatest competitor in basketball history does not want a farewell tour. He wants to win. He wants another championship. He wants his final memories to be about greatness, not nostalgia. That creates a battle between 2 versions of LeBron. The father and the champion. The family man who says, "What is the best fit for me as a person?" And the competitor who spent 23 seasons chasing basketball immortality. LeBron admitted his wife and daughter have become major factors in his decision. He explained that people tell him, "Hurry up and make a decision." But he responded that it is not only about choosing a team. It is about choosing happiness, choosing the right environment, choosing the right future. And that is why this decision has become bigger than basketball. Because LeBron James is not deciding where to play. He is deciding how history will remember him. LeBron leaves behind a Lakers era filled with unbelievable moments. A championship, record-breaking performances, a historic partnership with one of basketball's biggest franchises. And despite difficult moments, LeBron expressed gratitude toward Lakers owner Jeannie Buss and executive Rob Pelinka. He is leaving Los Angeles after helping place the franchise in a strong position. But now the NBA waits. Because this is not a normal free agency. This is the final move of a player who changed the sport forever. The 4th free agency of LeBron James' career. A decision that could shape the NBA landscape for years. Maybe he joins Miami. Maybe he chooses another contender. Maybe the final chapter includes the unforgettable image of LeBron and Bronny James together on an NBA court. Nobody knows. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes this moment historic. Because when LeBron James makes his decision, the entire basketball world will stop. The King has spent 23 years writing NBA history. Now, he holds the pen for the final page, and the question is no longer whether LeBron James can still dominate the NBA. The question is, what kind of legend does LeBron James want to become when the final chapter begins?
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.